What if the deadliest battles in human history weren't the ones etched into textbooks like Gettysburg or Normandy, but shadowy massacres where rivers ran red with blood and empires crumbled in anonymity? Imagine conflicts so brutal that their casualty counts dwarf modern wars, yet they've been buried under the sands of time, controversially overlooked, perhaps because they challenge our sanitized view of the past. Today we're diving into these hidden horrors, battles that claim hundreds of thousands of lives in ways that defy imagination. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear might rewrite your understanding of warfare's true costs. To guide our journey through these forgotten infernos, here as a structured outline of the narrative. We elves start with ancient clashes where strategy turned into slaughter. Move to medieval sieges that erase civilizations, then explore 20th century overlooked nightmares from World War I and beyond. For each battle, I'll weave in gripping stories of heroism and horror, backed by historical data, expert quotes, and staggering statistics. Along the way, we LL uncover paradoxes like how the victors sometimes suffered more than the defeated and build suspense around the sheer scale of loss that history has conveniently forgotten. By the end, you'll see why these events aren't just footnotes, but pivotal turning points that shaped our world. Let's begin in ancient China, where one battle's ruthlessness set the stage for an empire's rise. The Battle of Changping in 260 BC pitted the state of Qin against Zhao during the Warring States period. Picture this: over 400,000 Zhao soldiers, lured into a trap by the cunning Qin general Bai Qi, found themselves surrounded in a narrow valley. What followed was no heroic clash, but a calculated extermination. According to the ancient text records of the Grand Historian by Sima Qian, Bai Qi ordered his men to bury alive 450,000 surrendered Zhao troops. Yes, you read that right, buried alive in mass graves. Casualties totaled around 700,000, making it one of the deadliest single battles ever recorded. Historian Rafe de Crespigny notes in his work on Chinese warfare that this massacre demonstrated the brutal efficiency that would unify China under Qin, paving the way for the first emperor Qin Shi Huang. Paradoxically, while Qin won, the sheer loss of life sowed seeds of resentment that contributed to the dynasty's quick fall just 15 years later. Surveys from modern archaeological digs, like those reported by the Chinese Academy of Sciences, reveal skeletal remains confirming the scale piles of bones intermingled with weapons, a silent testament to the horror. This battle's obscurity? It's overshadowed by more romanticized tales like the Trojan War, yet its death toll rivals the entire American Civil War. Fast forward nearly 900 years to 612 AD, and we encounter another Asian apocalypse, the Battle of Salsu, where the Korean kingdom of Goguryeo faced the invading Sui dynasty of China. Emperor Yang of Sui, obsessed with conquest, hurled over 300,000 troops across the border, only to meet disaster at the Salsu River. Goguryeo general Ilji Mundiok, in a stroke of genius, dammed the river upstream, luring the Sui army into a shallow crossing. Then, releasing the waters in a biblical flood, he drowned tens of thousands. The survivors? Ambushed and slaughtered. Historical records from the Book of Sui claim only 2,700 of the 305,000 Sui soldiers returned home, a 99% casualty rate that's almost unbelievable. Shifting to the medieval era, the siege of Baghdad in 1258 stands as a chilling example of Mongol fury erasing a golden age. Hulagu Khan, grandson of Genghis, besieged the Abbasid Caliphate's capital, a city of over 1 million souls renowned for its house of wisdom. After weeks of bombardment with trebuchets hurling firebombs, the walls fell. What ensued was a week-long massacre. Estimates from Persian historian Adam Malik Juvaini, a contemporary, put civilian deaths at 800,000 to 2 million, including scholars drowned in the Tigris River, which allegedly ran black with ink from destroyed books. Entering the 20th century, the Battle of Sarikamish during World War I in 1914-1915 reveals a frozen hell in the Caucasus Mountains. Ottoman forces under Enver Pasha launched a winter offensive against Russia, marching 120,000 men through blizzards without proper gear. The result? Not bullets, but hypothermia claimed most lives. Russian reports tallied 78,000 Ottoman dead, with only 18,000 survivors, many frostbitten amputees. Now, consider the Battle of Hankou in 1938, part of the Second Sino-Japanese War, a conflict often eclipsed by Europe's World War II narrative. Japanese forces clashed with Chinese nationalists in Wuhan, including Hankou, resulting in over 1 million total casualties, including 400,000 dead. The Japanese lost 100,000, but China's staggering 900,000 losses included civilians bombed in terror raids. According to the International Military Tribunal for the Far East, this was the longest and largest battle of the war, lasting 4 months. Prominent figure Chiang Kai-shek's diaries revealed desperate defenses, with rivers choked by bodies. Statistics from the Chinese Academy of Military Science estimate 250,000 civilian deaths alone. The paradox? Japan won, but exhausted resources, hastening their Pacific defeat. Recent surveys by the Asia-Pacific Journal show 70% of Americans unaware of this theater, despite its scale rivaling Stalingrad's 2 million casualties. Finally, the Battle of Peleliu in 1944, dubbed the Forgotten Hell by veterans. In the Pacific Theater, 10,000 Japanese defenders faced 28,000 U.S. Marines on a coral island. Brutal cave fighting led to 1,800 American deaths and 8,000 wounded, the highest U.S. casualty rate of World War II at 39%. Japanese losses: nearly total annihilation. Marine Eugene Sledge's memoir, With the Old Breed, describes a meat grinder with flamethrowers and grenades in sweltering heat. Data from the U.S. Naval Institute: over 100,000 artillery shells fired, yet the island's strategic value was questionable. Historian Derek Wright calls it unnecessary, a controversial waste. Suspense lies in the underground labyrinths where soldiers vanished. Archaeological dives by the Bent Prop Project uncover unexploded ordnance, reminding us of lingering dangers. As we unearth these battles, from buried armies to frozen fronts, the sheer volume of forgotten death prompts a haunting reflection. In a world quick to glorify victors, what other silent screams echo through history, waiting to be heard?